YouTube, it's DigiWatchTCG coming to you with some what just happened news. I'm here with the second place winner of the Carta Magica Regional, Zuhair. And what'd you do?
So I played the Carta Magica Regional today, got second place with Metal Guru X antibody.
All right, take us through it.
All right, so to start off, we got the eggs. Obviously, I played the 4 Sunomon. I only played 4 eggs. I didn't a single time throughout the whole day run through all the eggs. And I value the inheritable effect of the Sunomon a lot. It helps run over a lot of things, or just have your every time you chip for damage with like a Wergurumon, it helps keep him alive. So I just ran the 4 Sunomons for the eggs. And then for the level 3s, I played 4 of the starter Gabumon. Again, I value the DP boost a lot, especially for this one because this one says it's all turns. So even on defense, it gives you the 1000 DP boost. So this is like turn 1, my ideal rookie to have turn 1. And then we played 4 of the BT5 Gabumon. This one is there for consistency boost, and it's also a Gabumon name, obviously. Um, it helps search out any missing pieces you have, and on top of searching out a Garurumon, if you flip Omnimon as well, then you can take a Garurumon and an Omnimon. So when that happens, it's really, really good. And then the last level 3 we played was for Gabumon X Antibody. It's an X Antibody deck. You have to play it. Obviously, it synergizes really well with Cool Boy. And this card I find is like really, really good because a lot of times you can play your Gabumon for 3. If you have a Cool Boy up on the board, you can play your Gabumon for 3, search a Garurumon and an Omnimon, and then evolve into this for free. Draw another card, cycle, search the top 3 again for a Garurumon or a Omnimon and an X Antibody option card. And then if you have a Cool Boy, you can tap it to gain a memory back and draw another card. So it's a lot of value if you have that set up. And those are just the only level 3s I played.
So,
Um,
so let me ask you a question. There are some other lists that have been posted or won previous regional events that uses like Madoki or the other Gabumon that lets you on attack look for another Gabumon, the
yeah.
EX1. So why not play any of those?
I'm not a huge fan of the EX1 Godwannas because it forces you to attack, and sometimes you don't want to. So that's my reason for that one. Betamon I heavily considered actually, but I was thinking to make it worth playing, I would have to play 2 to 3 of them because it's mostly relevant against Alphamon, but against Alphamon you need 2 out on the board for it to actually work because they'll just pop one on their way up the chain. And then I felt it just hurt the consistency a bit. For example, if Modoki Betamon is your only rookie turn 1, you can't evolve the X Gabumon over it uh, for free. So it hurts the cycling a bit. And my priority for this deck was just straight consistency. That's all I cared about because I figured, if I find all my pieces, I should pop off and win. And that's my logic behind it. I do understand people who play Betamon, and I might even include it later on. It's just for this tournament, I chose not to go with it based on consistency.
Nice. Okay, let's go on to the
Yeah.
champions, level fours.
Okay. Yep. So that's the level 3s, and then moving on to the level 4s, we played the 4 promo Garurumon and 3 of the BT5 Garurumon. Um, Again, like I said, I value consistency a lot, so that's why I maxed out on these Garurumons. I need the draw ones. There's a lot of cute things you can do here and there with like the Wergurumon that restands to just keep drawing cards to find missing pieces. And then the 3 Garurus, this is very good for power plays. For when you bring out like a Gabumon X out of your raising area, you can, if you have Cool Boy on board and you start your turn at 3, you can actually go into this for 1, and then evolve a Garurumon X over it, gain that memory back, and then go into the Werguru without passing the turn. So this is really good for that, and it also has an inheritable plus 1000 DP on all turns as well, which I valued a lot, and it did come up actually a lot. Um, so those were my Garurumon targets, and then I played 4 of the Garurumon X antibody. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. This card is one of the most important cards in your inheritable chain because it helps protect your your Weregarurumon and your METALGARURUMONs when you're swinging. If you unfortunately hit a battle card that's higher DP, you can just remove two sources of the same level and save it. So this was very important. And you generally want to max out on the X antibody free stuff because it synergizes really well with the Cool Boy, which we'll get to later on, obviously. But yeah, those are the level 4s I played. There was some unfortunate times where I didn't actually have a Garurumon, and the Garurumon X antibody was the only Garurumon I had, so I had to hard evolve it for 2 sometimes. And it actually wasn't horrible, because if at least you have the Weregarurumons later, you can still have 2 sources in there to remove to protect it. And usually that's all you need. There's very fringe situations where you might need that effect to proc twice, but most of the time just once is fine. So that's the level 4 lineup there. And then moving on to level 5, we got the 4 promo Weregarurumon. This is one of the heart and soul of the deck. The security attack +1 is extremely important, and the condition for it is you have to have 8 or more cards, but in this deck, because cards like Garurumon, cards like Cool Boy, cards like Gabumon X Antibody, you accumulate a really large hand size, so I never struggled to reach that 8 card number. Him also swinging twice comes up a lot. Like I said, you can draw 2 cards off the Garurumon, just off this card, because when attacking Inheritable is not once per turn, so you can do a lot of cute plays to generate a lot of cards, and again, that helps find missing pieces. If you're missing like the METALGARURUMON X Antibody or X Antibody option or whatever else, helps a lot. And then I played 3 Weregarurumon X Antibody and 1 Weregarurumon Sagittarius mode. I think it's a promo. Yeah, it's a promo.
Yeah, it's from the top box.
Yeah, so my thought process for this was I wanted to really, really run 4 of these, but my deck space was really tight and I couldn't justify cutting anything really to add a 4th one. So I played this as an alternate. This is another Weregarurumon. If it's on the board, the card counts as a Weregarurumon, so you can actually do the X antibody over this after you attack with this, or if you don't need to attack, up to you. And it's a free evolve over this Weregarurumon. And its effect is when digivolving, if you have a tamer, you can return 2 of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. And this came up really big in one of the rounds, actually, because I played against the D-Brigade deck. And I was in range for going for game, but he had 2 level 3 blockers on the board. So I was able to actually just go into this and bounce both of them and then go for game. So that's, from what I can remember, the only time it comes up. But if your stack is missing the Garurumon X Antibody, this Inheritable is the exact same effect as the Garurumon X Antibody. So if you put this in your stack when you're missing the Garuru X, this will provide you with the same effect to keep you safe from swinging in case you die from battle. So that was the level 5s. And then moving on to level 6, I played 2 of the EX1 METALGARURUMON, and then 3 of the METALGARURUMON X Antibody. This is another card I actually wanted to play 4 of, but I just couldn't find anything to cut to play the 4th one. But it was fine because there's so many cards that can search this out from your deck. There's like Cool Boys, Gabumons, a bunch of stuff, and that combined with the constant drawing from the Garurumon promo, you'll hopefully eventually find it. There was actually one game, and it was the only game that I finished X01, so it was the game that I drew. I was actually unable to close out the game because I was missing the X antibody, even though my deck only had like maybe 10 cards left, so that kind of sucked. But other than that, yeah, I had it almost every time I needed it. This card I played 2 of. I really, really, really like this card. The one time the second effect comes up is against Ophanimon in particular, because she has the undeletion effect, so when you swing, you can bounce her. And there was a lot of times, like 90% of the time I played this card or evolved into it, I was able to get it out for like 1 memory, and a couple of times even 0 memory. I gained all 4 memory back because I had 16 cards in my hand due to all the drawing and stuff from the Garurumons. So I would not change this lineup at all. This was amazing for me. And I really, really, really like this card. That was level 6s, and then I played 2 Blitz Omnis, actually. I think most people just play 1. But because the BT5 Gabumon searches out a Gurumon and an Omnimon, if you hit both off the top 3, so it made me inclined to play the 2 Blitz Omnis, because just if it increases the chance for me to flip an Omni off the top 3 off that Gabumon. And this card closed out so many games, and like every time I was like, oh man, I need that card to win. I had it. So I like this a lot, and I don't think I would switch it down to 1. It came in super clutch at 2.
So why not? Just curious, because have
Yeah,
seen a couple of lists, and they're more like locals level lists too. But they do play the Omnimon X Antibody, the level 7 X Antibody card. So is there a reason you
right.
chose not to, or you were focused more on just trying to end the game quickly?
Yeah, exactly. I think that card is just too slow. Somebody actually played it against me, and they lost because it was just too slow. And because I have so many attacks in a turn, he actually ran out of sources to use the X antibody effect, and I was still able to push through game. I just prefer this one because if I have it, I know I have it, and when it comes down to the situation, where I bring them down to 0, and I'm at like 0 memory, I just have the Blitz on me for the game. This one just secures game more consistently than X antibody, in my opinion. So that's why I played 2 of
And
these and
and it gets
0 of
that
the X antibody.
indestructibility ability.
Yeah, this helps a lot in the mirror match as well because it protects. If you have a X Metal Gurumon X antibody and they have their Metal Gurumon X antibody, they can just bounce yours. But if you go into this, you can protect him using his own effect, which did come up in one of the mirror match rounds. So that was really helpful as well.
Cool.
I wouldn't change this personally. I really liked it too. And then that's it for the Digimon cards. And then moving on to the Tamers, I played 3 Davis and 3 Coolboy. My reasoning for this is just I think Coolboy is extremely strong. It's crazy powerful, particularly for being just 2 cost. It meets the requirement now that even if you don't have a Davis, you'll have a Tamer on board. So your effects that require you to have a Tamer for them to activate, Coolboy will do that for you. It's also a top 3 search for any missing X antibody pieces, and then over time, you'll gain that memory back anyways through its effect by gaining a memory when you evolve the X antibody and drawing. It just helps a lot with the consistency. It helps search out missing pieces. It's super, super good. And then the Davis at 3, I actually considered playing 2, but again, I just really wanted to see it because I don't play any Hammer Sparks in my version. So it's sometimes you can get memory choked and it makes it a little hard to maneuver. So I just wanted to be able to start my turn at 3 because that guarantees me the ability that I can bring out Garurumon X antibody stack and then go into Rare Garurumon and start doing all the plays necessary there. So I just wanted that to be. I wanted to see the Davis.
So another question. There are
Yeah.
some lists that use Hero over Davis and use the red
Right.
package. Was there any
Yeah.
reason that you were looking at it? Like I know that obviously you've been saying that you want your deck more consistent, and Davis is definitely a good consistency booster. But
Yeah.
is there any other reason that you didn't want to use Hero or any of the red package cards just to also give your Digimon additional 2,000 DP to be able to
Yeah.
survive?
Yeah, I considered it a lot. Actually, I really like the blue-red version actually with Hero and a Delicate Plan. But it just came down to the same thing. For me, it was consistency. Um, the red deck has, the potential to have a stronger level 5, and it also has the ability to use a Delicate Plan so that you can go for game guaranteed. But the trade-off for that is consistency. Sometimes like if you draw a Delicate Plan in your opening hand, it's really useless for a really long time and stuff like that. And I just didn't want that to happen. So that's why I opted not to. But actually, the guy who got first place, he's actually one of my friends, Jesse Spencer. Really good player. He played the blue-red version actually, and he won. So it's obviously very good. But my thinking was the only matchups I really thought the red package would come up was either security control or something similar to that, and I just figured I wouldn't play that very much, so that's why I opted just for full blue. And it's also my first time playing BT9 today, so I just wanted to go with like this bare bones mono blue build, just so I can understand and learn the deck how it's supposed to be before I modify it. Like maybe later at a different event, I might switch it up and play the blue red package. But for this one, I just wanted everything to be consistent.
Cool.
So that's the Tamers. And then moving on to the options, I played 3 blue memory boost, 2 X antibody options, and 1 ice wall. Here, blue memory boost is the same thing. It's just consistency, and it avoids situations where I get like memory choked at 1 or something if I don't have my tamer. At least I can have this and pop it, go to 3 if they put me at 1, or if they put me more than 1, cool. I gain the 2 more. And it also really helps in the mirror match, honestly, because when you play a Gabumon as your searcher, that Gabumon is going to get bounced back to your hand, like almost guaranteed. So all you got out of paying 3 memory was the top 3 search. But this, you pay the 3, you don't have there's no Digimon on board, and then you get the 2 memory back on your next turn or whenever you decide to use it. So it was really good in the mirror match. It's not like it's a search card that doesn't get bounced, and then it has a return value when you decide to pop it. I actually wanted to play 4 of these, but again, cutting a card to play the 4th one was really hard, so I thought 3 was fine. And then when people hit it out of your security, obviously it's really, really nice as well. You just get the 2 memory for free on your turn. I played the 2 X antibody. This is another card that was really, really good, and I wish I could have played the 3rd one, but if I wanted to play the 3rd one, I would have to have cut a memory boost or the ice wall or something else, and I really didn't want to do that, so I just went with the 2 X antibodies for today. There was some times actually where I didn't have it in my hand, and I wish I did, but it happens. But this is another card you can search out with the Gabumon X and the Cool Boy. So it worked out really well. This card is really good. Even when it was hidden security and like just gained 1 memory, that came up, and it was really good. And then the 1 ice wall, I think you just have to play this. The card is just too good. Somebody hit in my security one time, and it passed the turn, and I was able to go for game on that turn because of that. And also, every time I actually hardcasted the ice wall, a lot of people just forgot that they were under the ice wall. So they would swing and then pass the 2 memory, and it would pass back to my turn. And then like it was just super neg for them, or I just outright won the game on the turn that passed, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, because there's so many OTK decks in the format, like Alphamon, Brandis, METALGARURUMON, this card is really good to protect you for a turn. And
Nice.
that's the whole deck.
Nice. Couple of questions before we wrap it up. What would you say was your hardest matchup today? And well, I guess give us a breakdown of what your matchups were like, and then what was your hardest matchup?
Okay, so I played 2 Alphamons today. I think I played 3 or 4 mirror matches for METALGARURUMON. I played 1 D Reaper. I played 2 like yellow purple decks. I couldn't really tell what they were, to be honest, because the games kind of ended really fast. But yeah, that was most of the matchup spread. And I think, to be honest, I played 1 Gaiomon deck as well in the last round, which was very interesting. Because that one, all the red X antibody cards save the stack from being bounced back to hand, so it was kind of hard to maneuver around actually. Because METALGARURUMON X antibody bounces back to hand and they can just protect it. But I think honestly the hardest matchup, I don't know if this is the hardest matchup in general, but the hardest matchup I felt like I had today was against D Reaper, because the guy I played who was playing D Reaper, he was a pretty good player, and he was able to get to the 6 stacks, the 6 guys under the D Reaper really fast in the first game, and then I hit a UFO card that does security -1 on all your guys in his security, so that was really bad for me. And then so I lost game 1 there, and I was like thinking, how do I adapt to this? And I figured I just have to play turbo fast. I have to go for games so fast. So like I would never hold my stacks back here. I would just promote every turn, because he didn't have. I noticed he wasn't playing like the yellow stuff, so he didn't have a lot of removal. So I was just like, I'm just gonna flood the board and try to end games as fast as I can. And I was able to close it out 2 games in a row after that. But yeah, that was tough to adapt And then the mirror match I think is always hard because it's just very hard to maneuver everything correctly in the mirror match. And sometimes it's just like, either you have the whole chain or you don't, or your opponent either has the whole chain or they don't. It comes down to those kind of situations sometimes, and that's another thing where mono blue, the consistency of mono blue helps a lot. And I didn't play cards like Hammer Spark or Kaida's Breath. I didn't expect to see those cards, to be honest. But two of the METALGARURUMON X Antibody players I faced did have Kokaida's Breath in their security, Hammer Sparks in their security. And I think as good as those cards are, because you have a chance to hit them in security, sometimes they brick your hand a little bit. Like if you open like double Hammer Spark or like Kokaida's Breath, it's very dead. So it ruins your flow. So that's why I opted not to play that stuff. But I do understand when people do play that because it does help a lot. When you flip it out of security in the mirror matches, especially. But yeah, that was my experience, man.
Yeah. Do you have any shout outs? Anything you want to say before we finish up?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to your channel. I believe it's DigiWatch.
Did you watch
Uh,
TCG? Yeah.
yeah, DigiWatch DCG. Shout out to your channel. Shout out to my sponsor and my team, which is Crossworld TCG, and my sponsor is Mystic TCG. Shout out to those guys for sure. They always help me, get cards that I'm missing or whatever. And shout out to my friend Lloyd. Um, he actually came by my place yesterday to hook me up with a bunch of cards that I was missing. So I wouldn't be able to play this list the way I wanted to if it wasn't for him. So shout out to him for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. It was really great getting to see your deck, your playstyle, and I hope you had a great experience as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I really enjoyed myself.
All right.
Thanks.